Hi, this is Katie Crumick. I'm one of the lecturers for the Design Thinking Social Innovation course. Welcome to week 2. We are going to start our design project this week. And so I want to take just a little bit of time to orient you to the expectations for the week and to the mural board. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to email and reach out, come to office hours, and I'm happy to help walk you through things. So I'm going to share my screen, go and share with you what that looks like. So by now, hopefully you all have found your links for your design frameworks. It should look something like this. I see that there are people in there already, which is great. And at the bottom, there's an example. So if you're interested in how other students did this, you can go in and look at a previous student's work. So you're going to find your name, click on your mural board. That is your own personal board, but you're going to enter as a visitor because it's connected to my account, and I don't have enough licenses to have everyone have their own individual account connected to my account. What you can do is you can sign up for a free mural account yourself. And then if you want to continue the work of the class after we're done with the class, we can copy all the content over to a board that you own, and you'll be able to keep it forever. The other thing that's true is that I'm not going to be getting rid of these boards. So as long as you have this link, you'll always be able to access your board, even though you enter as a visitor. Please be careful to not go into other people's workspaces. Do not delete the links or delete anything in anyone else's work. So please respect folks' privacy and just use the honor system to just focus on your own board. Okay, so this big picture, the mural board, is broken up week by week. And the first week was kind of this section over here about the mural tutorials. How does mural work? There are a bunch of tips and tricks here. There's a little space for practicing and making your own name tag. And that was kind of week 1. And now we're in week 2, and we're going to launch your design project. So the first exercise is an opportunity to mind map about a potential problem that you want to work on. And I'm using the UN Sustainable Development Goals to help you to get an idea of all the things that are possible to work on, right? We really want you to pick something that speaks to you personally, that you're connected to. And we hope that you get inspired to find something that you really want to work on over the course of the quarter. So you mind map here. The other thing to note is that with a lot of these links, if you double click onto this, it will pull up more information about the Sustainable Development Goals. I've linked here another resource, and you double click that, and it will provide you with more information. So whenever you see these kind of things that are posted here, you can click in and get more information. So as hopefully you learned from the mural tutorials, the way that you're going to add information, you can go over to this menu here, and there are sticky notes. So you can drag sticky notes over and take notes here. You're not going to, you may notice that these tools are locked down, and that is on purpose, right? So I don't want you to kind of move things around. I want you to use these frameworks to start to do your work. So you can drag Post-its out. You can also drag text out and make it bigger and type your notes here straight on these worksheets. You can bring out different shapes. You can bring out different arrows. So if you want to make arrows connect on your mind map, I highly recommend doing that. You can use icons. So if I was working on zero hunger, maybe I would look up, let's see what comes up for green vegetables. So here's some fruits and veggies. I can pull it over. It'll come out. It's just one thing to know is that it'll come out onto the board super small. But if you grab that corner, you can expand it and make it larger. You can then change the color. So I'm talking about fruits and veggies. I want to make these very colorful. So you can do that to help fill out your mind map. You can also use this images, and you can either import images of your own or you can search on the website. So I'm going to just search healthy diet, and here is a picture that I can bring out and use to illustrate what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I encourage you, that's one of the major strengths of Mural, is to use these kind of creative visualization tools to help you to bring life to your design work. The second tool is about secondary research. Every tool has a bit of instructions here at the top. But the main goal of this is to find an article related to the problem space that you selected, summarize that article here, and pull out the 5 most important ideas, and then reflect on these questions. And this is going to help you to, again, get some context about the problem that you're working on. The next tool is to use any data that maybe came from that research article or another article and analyze it to make sense of what's happening with this problem. And then look at it from an equity lens. Is there a particular demographic group that is more left out or more marginalized around this issue? Or is there a particular demographic group that really suffers more from this problem, and thinking about kind of who are those groups, what are the inequities that they're facing in the system, and how can you kind of focus your design work on those more specific injustices around this particular social problem. And then that's going to help you to kind of start to define your problem and reflect. And then the last tool is stakeholder mapping. And the idea here is that you want to identify who are all the people that are related to this particular problem, right? So I'm going to pull out a circle here. So if I'm talking about hunger, there are obviously families who face food insecurity. And I could then think about some specific demographic groups there. So perhaps low income families in rural areas. I know that there's big issues with food insecurity on tribal lands. So tribal or indigenous folks who struggle to access high quality food. There's a notion of something called food deserts, where you live in an area that is underserved by grocery stores and other ways to get healthy food, and literally there's no store to go to in your neighborhood, and so those areas are called food deserts, and that's when people who have to really travel a long distance to actually access food. And then these other groups are related to other kind of stakeholders in the system. So maybe there's food banks, right, that are involved. And I might think again of kind of different categories of food bank. So maybe churches is one. Maybe county level. Maybe there is a nonprofit food bank that serves the community. And then you could also explore food purveyors. So how are people actually accessing food? And maybe I'll put here, let me make this color different. So chain grocery stores, farmers markets, restaurants. So where are all the places that people get food that they eat? And you might then, because food banks and food purveyors are potentially linked, you can bring out a arrow to demonstrate that those are connected. So you're going to kind of think about who are all the stakeholders in the system, who is kind of, and in the center, who is the main kind of primary group, and what are all the kind of demographic elements of that group. And then the second step is to think about who in these populations are kind of the most represented, have the most powerful voices, and who are the least represented, who are the most marginalized, right? So chain grocery stores, I might put down here as like very represented. They have a lot of power, a lot of control over the system. And people who live in food deserts have much less representation, right? So we kind of map who's the most represented and who's the least represented. And then the next step, what we're going to do next week is make a plan to go and talk to some stakeholders. And we're going to use the stakeholder map to help us to identify who we want to talk to and who's kind of important in the system to make sure that we're hearing, especially those groups that are not typically heard from. So that is the 4 frameworks for this week. Again, if you have any questions or are struggling with Mural or with any of the tools, please send me an email or come to office hours and I'd be happy to help you. I am looking forward to starting to see the problems that you're selecting, and the things you want to work on, and the design work that you're starting to create. So I look forward to that, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks so much.